dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. COVID numbers are on the rise here in Kentucky. Experts say new variants and less precautions are making it easier to contract the virus. Julia Sandor spoke to one local physician about the rising cases in the state.
As of July 7th, there are 37 counties in Kentucky that have high community COVID-19 levels. Fayette County is a part of that list, even though their case rate is down 14.4% from the week before.
And if you haven't had it, I'm surprised, because COVID's been around for a couple of years, started as the Delta variant and has changed over time. So if you didn't get it earlier with the new variants, which are much more infectious, it's hard to escape. It's hard to escape.
Dr. Fox, a local family physician, says that the new BA.5 variant is most likely going to be seen in Fayette County soon.
And I think right now we're probably looking at BA.4 or 5 is probably, if not now, in the next few weeks or months, going to be the most common variant, which structure is a little bit different than when we started back 2 years ago with Delta.
He says the Omicron virus mutates, and with those mutations is a different structure to the virus. And even if you are vaccinated or previously had COVID, you're still at risk for the virus. But he says as the numbers rise, it's important to mask up, get tested, and get your vaccines.
You know, if you go out now, you're not seeing as many people wear a mask. You're not seeing as many people paying attention. But as this Omicron variant ramps up, I think it's going to be important to really start to get back to basics.
In Lexington, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
Dr. Fox tells us that there could be more specific vaccines for different variants in the future. Donations have piled up in Floyd County following the shooting in Allen. Floyd County Community Foundation has raised $39,000 since the shooting, and that number continues to grow. Foundation Chair Ellen Harris says she knows they'll raise as much money as needed for law enforcement and the victims' families.
I just think there's so many different ways that the foundation will really step up and take care of this.
The foundation says they do not know where all the money will go yet, but they've written a few checks for immediate needs. We're getting reports tonight of a train derailment in McCreary County. The National Transportation Safety Board has confirmed with us that they're aware of a derailment in the county. They say they're actively monitoring it, but have not opened an investigation at this time. Some new information tonight on a story we brought you yesterday. West Virginia State Police say a missing woman out of Kermit, West Virginia, may have been spotted in Lawrence County, Kentucky. 32-year-old Brittany Duff was last seen on June 23rd, leaving a home in Kermit. They say she left on foot carrying a backpack, wearing blue jeans and a white shirt. State police were told she may have been seen at a home in the community of Louisa in Lawrence County. The family is offering a reward for information that leads to her being found. If you have any information, you're asked to call West Virginia State Police. A woman needed rescue in Bell County today after being stranded near Kettle Island. Bell County volunteer firefighters made their way on foot up a mountain to reach the woman. In a Facebook post, fire department officials said just after 4 p.m. today, they were able to rescue the woman off the mountain. Firefighters say she was transported by EMS to the emergency department. Demonstrators took to the street in our nation's capital again this week to demand a federal law guaranteeing the right to an abortion. For now, women in Kentucky can still get an abortion. Earlier this week, a judge ruled a restraining order against the state's trigger law could stay in place. The trigger law was passed in 2019 by former Governor Bevin, went into place when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade days later. The ACLU and Planned Parenthood asked for a restraining order against it. The judge approved it, but there should be another ruling just over a week from today.
Well, clouds for some of us have hung stubbornly tough around the region this evening, but we're finally starting to move those out, and we're in for a rather clear night around the mountains. You see the current view from our high knob camera UVA-wise, a little tough to pick out. You can see there the moon, at least just above the camera there, and it's illuminating some of those clouds that are still in place at this moment. All quiet in downtown Whitesburg, upper 60s to right around 70. Temperatures, that's where we are. Upper 60s to right around 70 for just about everybody. Warm spots, Middlesboro, Jacksboro, and Somerset checking in, as well as Moorhead at 73. Pinpoint Doppler's all quiet this evening. We back out. You see, we remain quiet. You got to go up toward Lake Michigan before you run into any wet weather after our frontal boundary moved out last night. So clouds slowly clear through the night, mid-60s. And calm winds. I'll have the very latest, though, on when some showers and storms could return to the forecast coming up in just a little bit. Keaton?
Thank you, Evan. We've got a dramatic story of a rescue in Henderson County. The sheriff's office there says 6 people were sent to the hospital in a car crash, one of them flown by helicopter, and one of the drivers is facing a DUI charge. One bystander heard the crash and ran to help.
3 cars are almost unrecognizable, and 6 people are in the hospital after a crash on US 60 in Henderson Sunday afternoon. One neighbor, John Michael Cuellar, didn't see the crash, but he definitely heard it.
I was on the other side of the house working in the garden, and I heard a big boom.
Deputies say that boom was 18-year-old George Robertson rear-ending a car heading eastbound on US 60, sending it into oncoming traffic, causing a head-on collision. Deputies say Robertson was driving under the influence.
I came running to see my dad over there in the yard, in the middle of the road. So I ran over there, and he was talking these little girls out. I was trying to get them out of the back of the car.
Inside that car, a family of 5. Parents with their 3 children in the back seat.
They was sitting there crying for their mom. There was blood on the ground. They was walking, trying to get through it, and he had to pick them up and get them through. And I seen a little boy, he was upside down in his car seat, or his little booster seat, and just crawled in the back of the car and unbuckled him and caught him and handed him out of the back of the car and made sure he was okay.
In the front seat, deputies say the kid's dad, Bartolón Gonzalez, was driving, and mom was in the passenger seat. Cuellar says Gonzalez was in shock, but responsive.
We just got the kids out, and he was sitting there trying to talk to his wife, and she was in bad shape.
The mother was transported to St. Vincent Hospital in a helicopter. The rest of the passengers were taken in an ambulance, including one woman in the other vehicle hit head-on.
I was just worried about the kids. I was scared. I was shaking. I was just in shock. It was scary.
Cuellar says he saw the damage and just went into autopilot.
I just ran and seen kids hurt. I thought they were hurt, so I just tried to help.
Now 18-year-old George Robertson has been charged with operating a motor vehicle under the influence of a controlled substance. He was taken into custody on scene.
Robertson is being held in the Henderson County Jail without bond. He's set to appear in court Wednesday at 11 a.m. The U.S. Department of Transportation has announced a new Bill of Rights for air travelers. With the busy summer travel season, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is highlighting 2 new initiatives. The first guarantees 10 specific rights for disabled travelers, which includes their ability to travel with a service animal. The DOT's second initiative for summer travel is designed to help families who are trying to travel together this summer. Although it's not an enforceable law, the DOT's new policy urges airlines to seat travelers 13 and younger with their guardians, even if they don't offer advanced seat selections in economy. There were some tense moments at the world's busiest airport Sunday after a passenger plane's brakes caught fire. Smoke and flames could be seen coming from the landing gear on Spirit Airlines Flight 383 after it landed in Atlanta. Passengers on the flight, which originated in Tampa, started to panic, but flight attendants kept them calm. Atlanta Fire and Rescue responded quickly and put out the fire. The airplane had to be towed to a gate Sunday as it continued to spew black smoke across the tarmac. There were no injuries reported, and operations at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport were not said to have been impacted by the incident. The U.S. Postal Service raised the price of mailing a first-class letter effective today. A forever stamp will cost 60 cents when the post office opens Monday. In addition to the 2-cent price increase on first-class stamps, other postal services will also cost more. Everything from postcards to certified mail to money order fees will also be subjected to rate hikes. The Postal Service says the rate hike amounts to about 6.5% increase across the board. They point out the added expense is still less than the rate of inflation, which is nearly 8%. Coming up at 11, after a successful outing at the Special Olympics, 2 local branches of the group gather for some summer fun.
And things are getting toastier as we head through this week. The very latest is coming up next.
An ice